these few months or in these few years, how do you see the way we've managed our boxing in Ghana?
Wow, we've come a long way. Some of us are young in the system. We've not been around for too long, but the little that we have seen and the little that we have experienced, I would say that we are not bad. We have a lot to learn. And before I answer your question directly, I would like to say something small about your last question to our guest us about if Sharaf Mahama, what he did, if others will
The
be able to replicate the
investment.
same. Yeah.
Okay.
I know it's going to be very difficult for other promoters to be able to replicate the same because, look, like he said, the kind of investment that goes into boxing promotions is so huge. And to get sponsorship, I'm saying this because I want to see when God willing, I become the first vice president of the Ghana Boxing Authority. It is imperative on the authority to make sure that the other promoters are able to grow if they are unable to access sponsorship from corporate Ghana. None of them can put up the show that Sharaf Mahama put up, right?
Yeah.
And in an ecosystem where only one person is able to put up a big show, what happens is that if that person doesn't put up that show, then the other promoters are unable to what match up to that standard. And every boxer wants to fight on his bill, and they will not like to fight on the other bill.
Okay.
And what that will lead to is that you are going to get to a point where most of our boxers will now not be able to fight. And so,
One person will be
yes, because
dominating in terms of
everybody
the
wants to fight
monopoly.
on that bill because that is the biggest page, right?
Yes.
And the other promoters will now be falling out. And when they do, and that one person is not able to sustain the system as long as it should, then what will happen is that the system will collapse. So what we have to do is to pray and support the other promoters, the other promoters in terms of acquiring sponsorship. Because see, one of the things that made yesterday night a beautiful night was for the fact that there was a lot of securities around. There were a lot of security personnel who were there to support. How many of us promoters in the system can afford the volume of
That kind of
security that we have there?
Okay.
You can't. The setup, they can't. So now that we have the sports fund, I believe that it is time for us to identify the genuine, serious minded promoters who are already in the system with us, who have invested all over these years. Because look, when you take people like Ace Power Promotion, the Dawn Promotion, and all the rest, you understand, they have held the front for a very long time. And so these people needs to be supported. We need to pray for them, we need to support them to be able to acquire the kind of sponsorship that maybe Legacy Rise or Bishop Promotion will be able to get, so that week in, week out, we'll be able to have this kind of mega promotions. If not so, we'll sit down and then we'll be having mega promotions maybe once or twice in a year. And when you look at the number, look, I keep telling people that, look, we have a lot of young talents in our system who people don't even know. You understand?
Yeah.
And to produce a world champion is out of probability. The more good boxers you have in the system, the higher probability of you producing a world champion. Because you can't just count your hope or bank your hope on just one boxer to produce a world champion for Ghana. You understand? So if the other promoters are giving that support, what we will now do is that we will have a lot of our young potentials in the system who will now add up to the numbers, which will give us the hope of producing the next champion in the next 5 years. You get my point?
Yeah.
So, in as much as I'm praising Legacy Rise, I also want them because now they can help the other promoters by lobbying for them,
To
making a
also
case
rise.
for them. You understand? Because I always want to see this kind of promotions. When Alex is doing his show, I want to see a big show going on. When Mukilala is doing, I want to see it big, and all the other promoters. So, like I said, we have to keep supporting each other and encouraging each other. And then the smaller promoters doing the system also ought to learn from what Sharaf Mahama is also doing. Talk to him. How is he able to get all this sponsorship? Yes, we will learn from each other to become perfect. So that is some of the things that we need to consider going forward.
I'll come back to you so that we delve into the elections that is on June 2nd for the Ghana Boxing Authority. August, do you have anything to add to what Ernest Okoye has just said?
Oh, as of what went over the weekend, all I can say is, in fact, my brother has dipped in a lot of what I have to say. Because yesterday we witnessed something that which we all are happy about, and that we want to see more of that. You know, it takes a lot to do promotion. So as he was saying, The other promoter that doesn't have the
The
strength, that
capacity.
capacity to do that set promotion. In fact, they can, as it was, they can get closer to Sharaf. We shouldn't do the thing like we are competing each other, or we want Ghana to grow, Ghana boxing to grow, so they can get in touch with Sharaf or those in the promotion system who are doing great. That big man, this and this, I want to help Ghana boxing. How do I do it? How do I make it? I feel like doing promotion, I do it and sometimes I collapse. So, Charlie, pass here, go here, come here. I think we'll be okay for you because we want Ghana boxing to grow.
But do you sometimes have issues, or when you sit back and you think that, okay, those who have made boxing, who have been into boxing and have gotten somewhere, and they are not investing back into the sport, do you sometimes sit down and like, what is happening? You ask
Yeah,
yourself.
I feel bad sometimes looking at the Oscars and the Mayweathers, and the other top guys that they are out there. They are doing good for their people out there. We have top bosses, former world champions in Ghana.
Yes.
What are they producing to us? It's more bossing who is this same boss that have made them who they are.
Yeah.
But what are they giving us back through the same sports? Nothing. It's just few of them, one or two of them. And I sometimes feel sorry for my brother, Ite Powers.
Mm-hmm.
He's a former boxer who is trying to do boxing. But see where he is now. He just had a problem in one of his promotion. And as we speak now, he doesn't know whether he should rise or sit.
Because he spent a lot.
He spent a lot, and the bad didn't happen.
Yeah.
My brother, it's very painful. If you are talking, you have to feel for such people also. Because he's a former boxer. He wasn't even a world champion. A former boxer who has also done his part in the sport. That he wants to give back to the same sports, and now see they just broke him down. He's just sitting down watching what is happening. Charlie. So to our former champions, world champions, it shouldn't be about the talking always. It shouldn't be about advising us always. They should also invest into the same sport that made them who they are. So we and some of our bosses can also rise through that same channel. So we back on them.
And I guess this is going to be something that is difficult for you, because one, you are vying for the first vice president for the Ghana Boxing Authority. Is this something you've looked into it? Because it's like, look at our let's look at footballers, for instance. If a Samoan plays football and he goes on retirement, you want to form a club to groom players. If Kobia Samoa played for the Black Stars, he has gotten to that level. He wants to form an academy to groom players. But we don't see such when it comes to boxing. There's Azuma Nelson, all these are big boxers. You don't see them coming back to give back to society in terms of boxing. Is this something that you take up when you win the first vice president for the Ghana Boxing Authority?
You see, this problem is beyond a problem of critique.
Mm.
It's more of a problem of a dialogue. Getting to understand why the average African, when he becomes successful, he doesn't normally come back to invest into that very thing that made him or her.
Okay.
It is a systematic problem with Africans. So I'll not only pin down this problem on our former world champions. Because let me ask you a simple question with football. How many of our former blaster players have we seen in top managerial positions elsewhere, maybe in the EPL or in the Spanish league or in the Italian league? Have you ever seen any of our top former blaster players handling or being in any of those teams?
No.
Yes, because the average African, when he becomes successful, he thinks only about himself and his family. So it's a problem for all of us, and not to pin it just down on our former champions. And so, if God willing, some of us get opportunity to be at the Ghana Boxing Authority, what we will be doing is to do a stakeholder dialogue, calling on all our former world champions, sitting down with them and understanding them, why most of them are unwilling to invest back into the sports, or maybe they have done it but we don't know, or maybe they have done it and it's not yielding results, because nobody will put his or her money into something that will not yield the positive results that he has. Because they don't have free money to throw around. Every money you invest into something, you expect to get something back. Maybe it is part of our doings that they are also not contributing to it. So the only way to solve it is to get these people on board, listen to them, and then know their grievances, you understand, and then try to meet each other halfway, and then we'll be able to solve it.